Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Realnesss with three S's. I'm your host, Michelle Francis, with my amazing co-host, Tamika, joining me for Love Island UK. What's going on, Tamika?
Good. Nothing much is going on. I'm just trying to remember which episode we're on here.
So I was too much was going on with the finale of Love Island USA that I didn't do a recap for episode 49. So we're going to do episode 49 and 50, get us up to date for these last 2 weeks or 10 days, however long is left.
Okay.
If it works for you, and if you could remember what happened a couple days ago. If it's your first time here on Reality Realness, please be welcome and join our group of people that love talking about reality TV. So please subscribe right down below. We just want to build a community, please, and just talk about this show way too much. So episode 49. So what had just happened was Liberty decided to go and talk to Jake about the public opinion poll, but she was kind of urged by people to go back and like say how she was feeling and what she, talk about everything. And so Jake really feels like they had a really good conversation. But then after, when the girls talk to Liberty, they feel that it's very convenient that Jake says that he loves her when she's asking for answers as to like, how does he feel now? And why did you, do you still feel that way about not wanting to rip my clothes off, other than just saying, I'm your girl, you're my girlfriend, you're my girlfriend. Like, does he have anything else to say? So what do you think about the girls not really buying Jake's, admission to love?
I agreed with them only because I feel like it would have been different if he said it the first or second conversation where she confronted him. But he said it on the third conversation she was having with him about how he felt about her and about their relationship. So it felt like to me he pulled it out of his pocket to like shut her up.
Absolutely. It's kind of like she asked valid questions and he's like, I love you. I do love you. I just haven't been able to say it. I love you. Like, get out of here, Jake. I mean, Liberty's very young, so this is why she's tolerating this nonsense. But like, he's just it's like there's nothing about him that I think is great. I don't think he's good looking. He's not tall. He's not funny. Like, I don't find him funny. I don't find him smart. Like, I don't know if he'd be good in bed. I don't think I wouldn't want to kiss him. Like, there's nothing to him that I'm finding to be attractive. So it's just because she's young that she's not like deuces.
Yeah, I mean, she said, I'm the table. If he doesn't see my worth, then he's not the person for me. But I need you to really believe that, Liberty, because if you believed that, you would have been dead at him.
Yeah, and I think that's the fact that they've been on this journey together and she hasn't entertained anybody else. I think that's what's preventing her from moving forward or like dumping him or whatever. Like, she's like, I want to work on this because this is all I know about my experience here. So I understand that.
Well, Hugo apparently gave an interview. Murad was talking about it this morning, and apparently she was talking to Hugo at one point. And Jake was talking to Millie, but apparently neither conversation took them anywhere. So they stayed with who they were with.
Millie is not going to be interested in Jake. Sorry, Jake. Like, it's just something. And I'm sorry, Hugo. I don't know who your type is, but it's not Liberty, in my opinion.
Does Hugo have a type? Does he know what his type?
I don't know. I really don't know. Hi, Sam. Thanks for joining us. So this Love Island preview today had me upset, ready for white people to call Kaz aggressive for simply defending herself. I haven't seen that yet, Sam. I don't know how to find the previews for the next episode in Canada. So if you
don't follow the Love Island Facebook page?
I follow a bunch of them, but I don't know which one's which.
Oh, okay. The main page on Twitter and Instagram both put out the first look. That's how I see it.
Should we watch it?
Yeah,
we'll watch it later.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I don't know if it's just me, but why are these votes being taken so seriously?
I
Jeez.
don't
Yeah,
know.
so we're not at the vote yet. We're still an episode behind. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, I think that it just feels, especially to Faye, like she's just kind of embarrassed about what happened. She doesn't. She hates the fact that people haven't told her, you know, that she was out of line, that they allowed her to act that way. I think she's just feeling just a bit of embarrassed, and she was and frustrated with herself with the fact that, you know, her outbursts might cause them to leave the show, and then her friends weren't telling her to her face, even though that was the rules of the game. Hi, Connie. Thanks for joining us. So tonight's episode is going to be crazy. Okay, I can't wait to watch. Hi, Teresa. Go to Love Island UK on YouTube. Okay, I feel like I follow that, but maybe it just doesn't pop up because I don't watch it often. The first look is on YouTube. Okay, I'll check it. Okay, guys. Thanks, Jessica. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Ms. Love. Thanks, Luna, for being here. Hugo liked Chloe. Exactly. But like, I think it's just because she's so unattainable for him. First look is on Twitter, YouTube, and IG. All right, guys. Okay, fine. Okay. Hi, Letty. Hey, ladies. It's on Love Island YouTube channel. All right. So maybe I don't subscribe to the Love Island YouTube channel, and I thought that I did. But I'll try to pull it up so we can have a little watch of it later. I'll do it on my phone because then it won't flag me most likely for having like a clean image. I think they are afraid of Faye's reactions, so they'd rather stay quiet. But I also think it was in the rules that they weren't allowed to share who they voted for.
Because that's the point that I was going to point out. Like, I thought the entire thing was that they weren't supposed to talk about it and they weren't supposed to discuss it and tell who they voted for, which is why I'm not with Faye's position at this point with it. And
well,
there was only
after the actual vote.
Yeah, and there was only a certain amount of couples you could vote for. What was people supposed to vote for themselves? Like, I don't understand.
Okay, I do see the first look here. Boing. So Faye chats with Teddy and Chloe, and Faye's not feeling Jake, you know, like he threw out the I love you in a very convenient time, like we've already suggested. And Faye, she does say often that she likes Jake. So the fact that she's like having to say this probably not hurts her, but like if she's not defending him at this point, like there must be something off because she was defending Toby, you know, and like I'm like, Toby doesn't really need any defending here. So she's not defending Jake. Like I think that she really does feel as though he might be a little bit disingenuous.
Right.
Hi, Divine Me. Hey, everyone. I'm here to talk about Love Island UK. Love my girl, Kaz. Hope Tyler is a real one. I like the drama in the UK seasons. Yeah, I mean, this season started off slow, but I like the characters more. Like, I feel like real couples are being made. I feel like the drama is real. I think it's the fact that it's longer and the fact that the votes mean something. Like, you know, it doesn't feel as producer pushed. It feels a little more raw. Hi, CJ. CJ says, hi, Chantel. Hi, Tamika. I watch Love Island UK, but miss you guys and want to say hi. Well, this is Love Island UK. So you are in the right place. Unless it's a typo. So Chloe and Faye also chat with Liberty. And so this is what they were kind of reminding her. It's like this is the one-sided relationship that was talked about in the public opinion poll. It's the fact that like you are in it wholeheartedly, and he's just saying "I love you" right now, and you said "I love you" a couple of weeks ago. So this is what the public is seeing, that they just don't feel like he's in it as much as you are, which is very clear to me.
Right. I think she. I think in the heat of the moment, she got what she wanted. And so it went over her head because for me, I'm a watch how people move kind of person. So you're not going to just throw something and say something to me and I'm going to keep it moving because I got what I wanted. I'm going to watch your body language. I'm going to listen to what you're saying. And I'm either going to confront you right then, or I'm going to be like, okay. Then I'm going to go back to my people like, he did this, he did that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But what should I say? Okay, this is what I think I'm going to say. And then I'm going to come back to you.
So Liberty goes and talks to Jake again. And he's like, oh, like, you know, it's been on the tip of my tongue for so long. I just haven't found the right time to say it. That's why I just said it now. And and then he's like, it's not a nice feeling. People not thinking that he's genuine. I'm like, there's what's going on. This is why you said I love you, is because you are worried about perception.
Right.
That people think that you might be the bad guy, that you aren't as slick as you thought. And I'm just like rolling my eyes. I'm like, we saw you from a long time ago. You're just hearing about it now, Jake. CJ, if you would like to watch Love Island UK, message me on Instagram, either at ShanFranFran or at Reality Realness with 3 S's. I can send you a link so that you can at least watch some of the episodes. I don't think you'll be able to catch up in time for the season to end, because this is episode 49 and 50. But if you want to just at least know some of the characters that we were talking about, I'll give you that link. And it's a way better season than Love Island USA turned out to be. So just saying.
I mean, the first couple of weeks were slow, but yes.
But these last
it's more of a.
And now it's like.
Whereas Love Island USA was like,
and then the acting just kept on going down.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know if it was at this point that he talked to Toby, but he's like, oh, I wanted to do a whole thing about telling her I love you. And I'm just like, what? Why would you, for an I love you? Why would you have to do a whole thing for an I love you?
Right? Like,
so it just calculated.
Like, very quietly, secretly. You know what I mean? Like a genuine one-on-one moment, not like for the cameras, Jake.
Right. Like so even worse when he said that, it just made me cringe, because I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like you're genuine, like, because why would that be the first thing out of your mouth? Like, well, not the way it's one thing to say, well, not the way I wanted to say it to her. You know what I mean? But he said, I wanted to make it a bigger thing. And I'm like, so you wanted to put a production into you telling her I love you when those are your genuine feelings? I don't agree. I don't agree.
Me neither. So Faye, Chloe, and Jake have a chat, and they're pretty easy on him. Just talking about how, you know, how it looks on the outside, this timing and stuff like that. And even if he felt it, like, he should have maybe said it beforehand, because now it just looks like he's saving it, just doing it to save face. But in the end, you know, they kind of forgive him or whatever, and they all kind of give him a hug. And I was like, oh, you really let him off the hook pretty easy. Interesting. I didn't think that they were going to let him off that easy, but they did. So they do hug and kiss him, but I don't feel that the girls actually believe Jake. Like, I think that they're just like, okay, well, what can we do? We can't keep on like pressing him on this if he's not coming clean. So, all right, well, we're going to keep an eye on Liberty. We're going to make sure that she's okay. So you better start moving right, because if you move left, we're going to catch ya. So the girls are getting in the change room, getting ready, and they're kind of chatting while they're putting on their makeup and stuff. And Liberty thanks the girls for having her back. And I like this, because like the difference between Liberty and Kira is Liberty is like listening to what the women have to say. She still hasn't broken off or anything like that, but she's not going in naive and just listening to everything that Jake says. And so if they're having the same mirror chat with Kira from the US, she would just be like, oh, well, like, you just have to respect my decision. Like, this is my relationship. Like, stay out of it. Like, what you have to say doesn't matter to me. And so I thought it was interesting, because it's a similar situation, but how Liberty is handling it. She's like siding. She's a girl's girl. She's like, I'm a girl's girl. I'm a girl's girl. So I like that.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I said I do like how so far like Millie and Liberty have both handled their situation, because a lot of people are mad at Liberty because they're like, you don't see that it's one sided. But I'm like, she does see it, but what is she supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like in the middle of the show, she can only go by what she is being told and by his actions. But when his actions started to be so noticeable that she could not say, okay, something is wrong here. He hasn't talked to me. He's not even looking at me. He's holding full conversations with a different girl. She confronted him on it. What else is she supposed to do in this situation?
Absolutely. And like he's saying that he'll do better or whatnot, but she does feel like she's holding back a little bit. Like she doesn't feel like he's fully being genuine. So I'm happy that she's still being a little bit guarded, which I think is good. I don't know what's going to happen to them. I don't know. I don't want her to go home because of him. You know what I mean?
I know.
So Jessica says, Jake is constantly telling Lib, well, you're my girlfriend. You're my girlfriend. You're my girlfriend. Yeah, it grates on my nerves as well, Jessica. It's very annoying. He thinks that he could do anything and none of it matters because Liberty is his girlfriend. But are you treating her like a girlfriend? Exactly. And this is what Tamika's always saying is, show me with your actions.
Yeah.
Show me.
Show and prove. Show and prove.
So he is only saying these words in desperation. You're my girlfriend. You're my girlfriend. It's like, okay, yeah. Like, what else? You said some words.
And then it's like the opposite words that are going with that statement. Oh, well, Millie and Mary are my type, but you're my girlfriend. What? Millie and Mary are beautiful, but you're my girl.
It's not a qualifier, buddy. Okay, so the first look is something else. I keep my opinion to myself about Teddy until I watch the full episode. Aaron just needs to take several seats and have some and have the same smoke for Faye. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, Ms. Love agrees here. Okay, let's get through this episode so we can get through it all so we can watch the first look. Besides Mary and Aaron, which couple should be dumped next? It's kind of Liberty and Jake.
I don't know. I think it's Faye and Teddy personally.
Okay, or Faye and Teddy. I can see Faye and Teddy being in a relationship outside of the villa more than I can see Liberty and Jake.
Okay. I can't.
Really? I can't. I feel like he will put in the effort and she will appreciate him putting in effort.
I feel like she is going to push him to the point that his manhood can't take it anymore. And he's going to end up having to dump her because I don't think his family is going to allow her to do the things that she's doing in the villa.
Oh, boy. Hi, honey. Thanks for joining us. Faye has a racist family.
That's what I'm saying. Based on the conversations, which is also why people voted the way that they voted, I agree with the way that they voted. Because the conversation is with Faye, we are not compatible. Faye, we don't like the same thing, so we're not compatible. Outside of this, I don't see him being able to bring him home because my family is a certain way. What does that say to you? I can't bring this black man home. I just don't see it. I just don't.
I see what you're saying. I can definitely see them having a go at it, but I could see easily for them to break up as well. I do feel though that they will last longer than Liberty and Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has made videos of every time Jake says that and put it together. It's hilarious. I'm finding it and I'm going to rip it off.
Yeah, I think I told you it was a TikTok that somebody made that I thought was absolutely hilarious.
I'm going to find it. I'm going to rip it off and I'm going to put it up here. Thank you. I remember you said that I was going to ask you to send it to me. I forgot.
Oh, I have to see if I can find it. I'm sure I liked it.
I don't think that it's been confirmed. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I can understand that if maybe like Faye's family is not necessarily racist, but like, you know, the fact that she's able to pop off like this, like maybe she's a little from a lower class family than Teddy is, and maybe it's classism that she's speaking about.
Mm.
Teddy puts up with everything from Faye that he wouldn't from a black woman.
That he doesn't from a black woman. If you look at the first look, Cass is just barely nodding his head and he goes after her. Then he's also said something to her prior to this. I don't appreciate it. I do not appreciate it.
Oh, Lord. Oh, read the room. Okay. Uh-oh. Well, I think that Netha has a pretty good perspective. I think she's from the UK, so she kind of knows what's going on over there. So
yeah,
it hasn't been confirmed. We don't want to necessarily call out Faye's family if it's not 100%.
Well, my American side is agreeing with Honey Sweet Dreams. But I could be wrong. Again, they're not overtly racist. They are, a lot covertly with it. So I was thinking that's how I was taking it. Like what the words she was trying not to say, in my opinion. But
Yikes. For Kaz for shaking her head, but can't say anything about Frey dressing him down like a child. Lord, boy, oh boy, this is not good, Teddy. Not good. So, okay, but before we get there, we're almost there, guys. So Priya is really excited because she got a kiss with some tongue in bed with Brett. I'm like, not my type at all. Liberty gets Jake to give her a kiss and a massage and releasing negative energy. I guess this was during the day. I can't remember what time of day this was. They must be getting ready to go outside. So yeah, she's getting like a massage from him with the suntan lotion, and I'm just like,
oh yes. They were on the day beds, and they were outside, and she was like, because everybody was looking at them. He's like, okay, all of a sudden it's what is it? Under bikini massage and stuff like that, because he had pulled her bikini and he was like rubbing her down. And I was like, okay, well, listen, I don't know. I don't know.
It's trying a little bit.
Exactly.
We see Brett though. This side, I wasn't really feeling this from Brett. I think he thought it was flirty, but he was like, "Oh, like I mean, I don't believe in aiding to toxic masculinity. Like you should take me out." And I was like, that's not cute. Not from him and not from the type of banter and chats that they've been having. That's not the right play, I don't think, for Priya and for, in my opinion, most women. I know that we want to have equality, et cetera, but I do have a little bit of an old school mentality, whereas I think that if a man asks a woman out on a date, that he should take care of the check. And if we go out for a coffee after or get another drink after, then the lady would take care of that bill. But I do feel like the person doing the asking, for the most part, should be paying, and especially if it's the guy on a first date. When you're dating, obviously it doesn't matter. Go back and forth, like whatever you want. But the first date, I don't think it's sets up a good precedent for what goes on in a relationship, just because women do a lot of things to prepare for that date. They get their hair done, they get their makeup done, they get their nails done, they're wearing an outfit, they get waxed, they do all these things that men don't even care to do to get that damn dinner. So I do feel, people might come for me for this, that for a first date, especially if the man is asking, it should be the man's responsibility to pay. What do you think?
I don't know. I've never been on a date.
Really?
Yeah, like where a guy asks me on a date. I've been with where I'm hanging out with a guy and then we go out and then we split the check. I don't mind doing stuff like that.
No, I don't mind splitting checks either.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is it's not hey, come and we're gonna go out to a date. I haven't done that.
Somebody asked me on a date and they wanted to split the check, which is fine. I would split it. But then that would, to me, would signify that they weren't interested in me for a first date. I'd just be like, okay, like no problem. There was no like trying to woo or be chivalrous or you know what I mean. Like, okay, like fine, you're not interested in me to make me feel special in that way for the first date. I get it. That would be my clue personally. My best friend's completely different because she has a different way that she likes to be wooed, and so she feels like if a guy wants to pay for the first date, that she doesn't want that to happen because she doesn't want to feel like they own her or that like she owes them something.
I'm probably more towards that. Like, I'm not the type, like, some people will refuse to date men without cars because they're like, how are you getting to the date? And I'm like, you're going to go in a man's car on the first date? I would never do that. I would absolutely never do that. I would Uber or drive my damn self.
No, I wouldn't. Well, I mean, I guess I have before in the past.
Yeah.
But
I not this well, but then again, remember, I've been married since I was 26 and I was with my ex-husband from the time I was 18. I really didn't date. And so probably back then it might have been different, but I definitely nowadays with how people crazy people are, I wouldn't do it now. I definitely wouldn't do it now.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely be something that I would have to think about for a second.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would do it right away. All right, let's see this. Thank you. Oh, it's from the Shade Boro. That's funny. Thank you, Netha.
Funny.
Also, Netha, what was I supposed to send you? There's a link for something. Sure. Sorry. Thank you so much, Netha. I'm gonna post it on my stories or like my shorts on Instagram or on YouTube. Funny.
That's so
Very
funny.
Hi, Earth Angel. Thanks for saying hi. All right. So all the guy, okay, Teddy gets a text, and all the guys have to make the women something to eat. So they're going to be making them asparagus wrapped with bacon and spaghetti carbonara, I think it is.
Yep.
And so
garlic bread.
And garlic bread. Sorry, do you love garlic bread? Is that why?
Well, no, because they made a big deal about the garlic bread because they were putting mad garlic on it, and they were like, "This is a date. You can't put that much garlic on it." And they're like, "Everybody loves garlic." And they started throwing more on it.
And Chloe was even like, "Are you gonna kiss me after like having this garlic?" He's like, "Yeah." Like garlic doesn't make well. I mean, as far as I know, doesn't make me smell. But I've smelled some garlic. People that like don't eat garlic. You don't smell good at all. It comes out
out your pores. Yeah.
Sour, like rotten sour garlic, and I'm just like, whoa. Yeah. I haven't noticed that on myself, but you know how they say you can't smell your own stink. But I feel like I would notice if I smelled like that.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I mean, I love garlic though. I think it's a very good flavor, and I probably would question somebody that doesn't like garlic. Charlie. Oh, speaking of Charlie, so in case you guys, I know most of you in the chat here watch Love Island US, so we're still trying to look up and see where we can find the marriage license, which we haven't been able to find yet. His wife seemingly is Ecuadorian and Colombian, I think, is what I remember. And it looks like they were married in maybe 2017. Actually, I saw some more.
June 25th.
Sorry, you got the actual date. Now, if someone were to be married, say in Colombia or in somewhere where her family might be,
right,
would you still need to get a marriage certificate in the United States?
I think you would still maybe have to file it, but I have to see because I haven't done a destination wedding, but that was what I was trying to figure out because I checked Texas, I checked California, I checked Nevada, and I can't find a license in either one of those or divorce decree. Now, I didn't check Chicago, which is where he's from, but I think he was living in Texas. She puts she had put that she was from Los Angeles and currently living in Vegas. So unless the only other thing I could think of is that they got married outside of the counties that I know that they were frequenting, then I don't know where they got married. If
Yeah,
you
like maybe
understand what I'm
her
saying.
family is somewhere because it seems from those pictures that there was a lot more of her family than his.
Right.
So,
So I checked, the first place I checked was San Diego because
what about Puerto
that's
Rico? I don't know, like if she has any family there, but
Puerto Rico is a good idea. I didn't think about that, but yeah, but because he, when I was looking around the time frame on his Instagram, he was checking in San Diego and Las Vegas. So that's why I primarily checked there, and then I checked where his brother and his mother were living, which was in Texas City, Texas.
I mean, we just need to find this man because he didn't like this is something that you should talk about. I think if you're getting to know somebody like when you're dating them,
Yeah,
and you know the fact that his mother is so angry with Cash, and like it just like I just need it to make more sense as to
yeah,
why he's acting this way
yeah.
because it doesn't. It
I'm particularly even more annoyed at his mother now, knowing that I feel like he probably withheld, and I don't want to like ask the question from them, but I kind of want to ask the question: does anybody there know that he was married? Because nobody, if it was stated, it was cut out, and I want to know why.
especially if Andre was like disclosed that information, right?
First thing he disclosed was that he was
Right, and he has a kid.
he had, yeah, he was divorced and he had a kid. So my whole thing is, why was it that, like, to me that's an like, I yesterday I was on a dating app and this guy was like, oh, where, like, I said, what do you want from this experience? And he's like, oh, I want to get married. And then so my first thing is, you're 44, have you ever been married? You know what I mean? Like, if you're looking for something serious, you're of a certain age. Have you ever been married? And he was like, oh, no. Okay. My whole thing is, Charlie is 30. I don't think any of these people would have expected to ask him if he'd ever been married.
Right.
Especially, he got married in 2017. He's 30 now. So that was 4 years ago. So he was like 26, about the age that I got married, right? Which is fairly young for some people.
Well, I would have liked to know why it didn't work, like how he's moved on from it, what he's learned from that relationship.
That would have been an emotional builder, which says to me that either he refused to disclose that information and he was not being serious the entire time. You know what I mean? Because that's the first thing from my experience. I was married before, and I learned that I need this in a relationship. I want this. This is the type of person I'm looking for. The fact that he never, if he never disclosed that information to Cash, he's a liar, and that's my opinion.
Absolutely. I mean, I know it's a whole argument like, oh, don't want to bring your past relationship into your
No, not when you've been married and divorced and it was recent. It's not like it was 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. So nothing didn't know that until it was mentioned in this chat. Absolutely, and like we did a deep dive into that Instagram. So I don't know. We're gonna keep you updated as to what is going on in the search for Charlie's marriage license. Hilarious. So we see all the couples sitting and having conversations. The only ones that stood out was Millie explaining to Liam what an aphrodisiac was. So funny when there's just things that you know and you don't realize that there was a time where you didn't know it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I've always known what an aphrodisiac was.
Same, but I'm also a foodie. But I thought it was funny. But he's also 21, so maybe that's why. But he also seems to be kind of like a Corey, where he doesn't know a lot, but Corey's older. But he doesn't seem to know. Yeah, like he has no idea what certain words mean. So because he said in the was it the unseen bits, he didn't know what sibling meant. Yeah, they had to explain to him because he thought it meant like people in your family, and they were like, no, it's your brother and sister.
Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like I don't know what it is, but he doesn't know what words mean. Um,
I
and
mean,
so
I guess he's pretty young, but
yeah.
you should know what sibling means. Come
Right,
on.
I know. But yeah, that one was funny. And when Kaz and Tyler were like going at each other, and she was like, "Why are you cutting your food that way?" He's like, "Well, you know, I'm left-handed." And she's like, "You're left-handed?" And he's like, "No." They were both dying laughing. I love that. I love that.
Real moments with real
Yeah,
people like that get along and like each other. I like
yeah.
that. Also, Toby and Chloe doing their Lady and the Tramp moment.
Oh, that was so cute too.
They're growing on me. They really are. But
Same.
poor Priya is bored. She is bored, bored, bored. How do you find Brett good looking? I forget if I've asked you this already.
I think you asked me last episode. It's not that I find him good looking, but I told you I go by personality.
Right.
So I'm instantly way more attracted to you than if you are like super gorgeous but a shitty personality. And to me, I like Brett. I don't like Priya. And I just want to know from the producers, were we supposed to like her? Because there's nothing that was bringing me. And this episode and 50 made it even worse that I didn't like her. And so, yeah, no, they weren't a match.
I don't dislike her, but she's not great. You know, she's okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Tasha. So we hardly saw Kaz and Tyler on their date, but we conveniently get to see them today when they are in a heated discussion with the others.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying, especially with Kaz, because this is my thing the entire season watching it. I feel like the only time we're allowed to see Kaz in a positive light is if she is Liberty's best friend or she's getting thrown off by a guy. But when she's in a relationship on the show, we hardly get any of those moments. But then when she kicks off because people are being shitty to her, then she gets to be angry black woman. It pisses me off.
And I'm just like, they know how much people have their eyes on how they're treating people on the show. So I just actually don't understand why they're not being a little bit more careful and considerate to their portrayal of the people of color, but especially the black women on the show. Like, it's so confusing to me that, like, in this day and age, that they're completely disregarding the fact that they're doing this.
I don't know. It's really hard to watch because we're sitting there looking for crumbs. We're watching Kaz and Tyler in the background of other people's relationship, and then when it's time for everybody to vote for them as whether or not they're compatible, every single couple was like that they were compatible, whereas the audience is like they're not compatible, and Tyler's not into her, and he's just using her to win money. Pisses me off.
Absolutely. So nothing saying, yeah, it's obvious that the producers want Millie and Liam or Chloe and Toby to win. We only see Kaz and Tyler apart from being exclusive, and Faye and Teddy when there's some sort of conflict.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I don't know. I think they wanted Faye and Teddy to win earlier, and then she kicked off to the point where they got so many complaints that they just couldn't do anything but just let it be. But there was a point where it was just all Teddy and Faye, and they were like all into them. And I'm just like, well, first of all, I don't think she really likes him. And then she said she wasn't. She's like, he's not funny. They don't like the same thing. She likes, musicals and Disney. Me too. He likes jazz. Okay, I'm not into jazz. It's probably like the music that I like the least. I'm more of a musical and Broadway, and then it's like, Caribbean music and R&B. But if my partner likes jazz, I'm gonna go with him to a jazz festival or music or lounge or whatever, because that's what he likes. But she was acting as if it was like some sort of deal breaker. And so it like I think she did that. I keep saying this, and I think some other people feel this way. All of this is Faye's own doing. And it might be self-sabotage,
That's
but I
fine.
don't know what you want us as an audience to do when you're self-sabotaging yourself, and I also don't know what you want your friends to do when you self-sabotage your relationship in the villa.
Well, that's the thing. She said many times that she's her worst enemy and that she always sabotages things that are good for her. And the Fae right now doesn't take care of the Fae for the future. So she knows that she does and says and does things that are not for her highest and best good. I do think that she likes Teddy, but she doesn't think she's good enough for Teddy, as what I am gathering. And she's trying to prove that point to herself and everyone else that she isn't good enough for him.
Right.
So, whether that's from just her upbringing or, or whatnot, I do think that she wants to be good enough for Teddy, but she doesn't have the self-esteem to be able to do it.
I can see that there's this one person on Married at First Sight that she did not like her husband because he didn't look the way she wanted him to look. She cried during her wedding. They've been together for over 5 years now, I think 7 years, and they're in therapy because she's like accusing him of cheating on her because like he went out and he didn't have a correct story when he went out and stayed out too long, and but meanwhile he's a stay-at-home dad and she's going off and doing all this kind of things and he's always with the kids, so she, one or two times he might go out and hang out with a friend or something, it's too long for her. And I said, just based on some of the things that she does with other men, she has this point of view about men that she can't help but use it as her gauge for things. And
Sure.
so I feel like she's self-sabotaging her marriage, and she doesn't know how to stop. And so it's definitely there, but at this point, like I don't, unless she might be, I mean, to be fair, she might be talking to a therapist while she's in the villa to help her regulate some of those things, but I feel like she needs help with doing therapy to
Yeah,
get past this.
we've definitely like we've all been saying that, like, from how she reacted is somebody that's deeply hurt that
Yeah.
needs to have some professional help with like handling her emotions more effectively, 100%. And
Yeah.
so I'm sure that she will get help after the fact, just
Right.
because she's going to see the 25,000 like complaints, and she's not going to have a lot of she's going to have a lot of unfavorable Instagram comments and DMs and stuff like that. So I think that she will get the help that she needs. And we do also know that they are providing more of psychological therapy after the show, just to be able,
Yeah.
because we know how traumatic it has been for at least three of their
Yeah.
Islanders and host.
Yeah, on the USA side, they said that they actually have therapists on there. They have producers who help them through stuff, and then they do provide them. Like Trina said, she's getting therapy through the show right now, ongoing since she get out. So I'm glad they confirmed that because that was one thing I was worried about, especially for Trina, because I was worried that she would be a little more hurt about seeing Cash and Cinco together, but she seems to be okay. So I hope that she does get, like Faye does get the help she needs, because especially if she does not, if she's stubborn and doesn't do it, I definitely cannot see her and Teddy lasting.
No, no, definitely not the way that she is right now.
Right.
But the one thing that I also think would help for their relationship is that I can see her both of them moving to a bigger city, so that
Mm-hmm.
they and maybe starting a life or something together, or at least moving in maybe right away, and
Mm-hmm.
just to feed off of the Love Island fame afterwards. And so
Okay.
I can see them doing that, because I do think that they get along quite, like, they kind of complement each other quite well when
Mm-hmm.
they're working. You know what I mean? And so
Mm-hmm.
I can see them trying to stay together for as long as they can. I wouldn't be surprised if they move to a bigger city to like take advantage of being a couple and maybe being hired as a couple.
Yeah, because I think they did say like long distance was a factor as well for them. So yeah.
Samantha says, yeah, Tamika, I've seen lots of people saying that they used to like Kaz clearly when she used to get rejected or was just like Liberty's friend. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nobody ever wants to see the black woman, especially the darker skinned black woman, get the guy and be happy and on top of the world, in love, like whatever it is. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see them getting any money. They don't want to see them winning in sixth season. It's really sad to say, but it's a fact because it seems to me that people that don't support that are maybe racist or they have a lot of subconscious biases that they just don't want to see black women especially do well because they feel that if they do well then they're not going to be doing as well. It's like see that there's enough room for everybody to do well. There's enough people to do well, but it's kind of like they put themselves above, we'll say, Kaz in this particular scenario. Yeah. And so if Kaz is doing really well, that means that like, oh, well, like she can't do better than me.
Yep.
How dare she?
Yep. And there's black people too that say that. And then another thing is the Matthew situation. You can definitely tell that they just was like, well, how dare she reject him? He when he was paying her attention, she's not good enough. She's not good enough looking to reject the white guy who you know, and to me, he's not cute. He was pretty fugly in my opinion, but you know, this cute white guy who was paying her attention, meanwhile he wasn't paying her attention, he wasn't doing anything for her. And then, you know, to go back to Tyler who rejected her, and I'm like, but y'all are okay with Liam going back to Millie. Why is it okay for Liam, who was with Millie for like 2 or 3 weeks before they went into Casa Amor, to do what he did just because he came back with nobody? But it's not okay for Tyler, who was with her for 4 days and then this girl for 4 days and was not sure what he was going to do. And that's the point of the show. And then he came back and realized that this girl wasn't for him. Seeing now both of them in the same area, that this other girl was the better fit for him, and that's where he went to. I don't understand it.
From my own life experience, like it's quite rude that like people expect me to be like, oh my god, any white guy that thinks that I'm attractive, I must just like flock to them. So people will be like, oh, I have a friend that's that he only likes black women, and I'm like, so I'm like, I probably won't be interested in him because of that point, right? Because like that
why is it a fetish? Is it
exactly.
Is it a fetish?
I'm not into that. Yeah. And it seems to be that like I'm supposed to take any sort of scrap. So like I only really date people that I find very attractive and handsome, and collectively people usually find the people that I date to be quite good looking. Okay. And so sometimes these people are like actually unattractive, and it's like because they're white and they like black women that I'm supposed to be like salivating over them. And it's like, what? No, I don't get to have taste anymore. I don't get to like, you know, choose somebody who I feel like I match up with. Because like sometimes on these dating apps, I'm like, you actually think that you have a shot with me? I'm always just like, I'm so befuddled sometimes that I'm like, the gall of these men, usually these white men, that think that because I'm black, they have a shot with me because they're white. They don't have to be smart. They don't have to be good looking. They don't have to be funny. They don't have to be rich. White, and any black woman will jump for them.
Yeah, it's really hard. Maybe if I met them on the street and they came up to me and then we started talking, I'd be different. But on the dating apps, I just worry that it's a lot of fetishizing. So I really very rarely respond to white men that are on those apps. I really don't, because just saying hi or hello beautiful is not enticing to me. Like,
no, I mean, it's definitely people have to, it depends. It depends. I usually only respond to people on Bumble because like I'll decide if I want to talk to you. So
Yeah, see for me, I don't know about in your area, but like on Bumble, it's primarily white men on my Bumble because of the area I'm in. Very rarely is there like a black man that comes up, and usually if it is a black man in my area, they've liked me. So when I swipe and say I don't want that person, they're like, "You just missed the match." And I'm like, "Yeah, because just because he's black, he's not my match."
so true. Which what is there another app that I don't know about? What are you using?
Uh, what is it? Let's see. Black or BLK. Have you heard of that one? Yeah, that's primarily with black men and women, and then Bumble, and then Hinge, and then Facebook dating.
Facebook dating is the worst.
It's
But
wait, somebody said in one of my groups of Facebook dating is the ghetto of dating app.
so bad. It's so bad. But I do flip through it like every day. I go through like 10 pictures, and I was like, nope, nope, nope. And then I choose one person, and then they're like all weird. They're like, can we get on WhatsApp? And I'm like, as soon as somebody says, can we get on WhatsApp? I know they just want to send me a dick pic. So I was
Yeah,
like, okay, no
the
thank you.
one guy he said that he was widowed, and he was again. I can't do men in my age group. Like they're all weirdos. But anyway, he's a little older than me, and he was like, oh, that he's widowed, and he's like, oh, can we channel fly? So I gave him my Google number, and then we started chatting, and he's like, oh, can you send me a pic? I was like, there are like 5 pics, and I make sure there's a couple of front pics of me up close and a couple of pictures of me standing up. So there is no reason for me to be sending you additional pictures. So I said, no, I do not send additional pictures. If you want to see me, I'm in the app. He's like, oh, okay. And that was it. I don't do that.
Okay, that says Faye said what she said and somehow expected all her friends to forget. The others are not saying they are not compatible. They're just saying that they're the least compatible amongst the others.
Right.
I don't understand. She's just being defensive.
Yeah, I because it would be different if they phrased the question a different way. Like they phrased it that way, and there was the way to answer the question. And I said yesterday before the episode aired, I said I have a feeling, and before episode 50 aired, I said I have a feeling Kaz and Tyler voted the way they did because they were in earshot of Priya and Brett's date to know exactly what Priya was saying. And I feel like if Priya had told Kaz like during the dinner, she and Tyler would have voted differently.
I didn't take a note of who voted for whom. Well, I just finished this the end of this episode. So we're going to be voting for 2 couples that are the least compatible, and they're going to submit within their couples by text which 2 couples they wanted to do this, like who they thought were the least compatible.
Let me see if I can find it.
So the 4 least compatible. Did they tell them this, or was this the next day?
So they didn't tell them, because normally they tell them that night that these are the people picked to be least compatible. Well, the last 2 seasons that I watched, they said these are the people who were least compatible, voted by your friends, yeah. And then you guys will be up for a public vote the next day, and then they keep it moving. And then you see how the public votes. But this time, I guess maybe because they didn't want them talking, because they specifically said, y'all not supposed to discuss it. And then Faye went on a whole thing about it.
Yeah, I think she's just feeling like insecure about like what she did and embarrassed and all the things. And she's not great at expressing herself calmly and having empathy, really. So So Faye, Teddy, Priya and Brett, Liberty, Jake, and Mary and Aaron are all the 4 couples that are going to be voted on by the UK public to be going home. That's correct, right? Yes.
Yes. Yes. You said Priya and Brett too, right?
Correct. Of course. I mean, they're, of course.
Okay. Here's who voted. Here's who voted for.
So Faye, though, while she's talking to Teddy, this is episode 50 now. She said that she'll lose her shit if any of her friends like haven't said anything to her face, and then they lied to her. And I'm thinking of like, Faye, stop talking about saying you're gonna lose your shit, that you're gonna pop off. Like they don't like this. That this is
right. This is why they didn't tell you. Okay. Liberty and Jake voted for Priya and Brett, Teddy and Faye. Faye and Teddy voted for Priya and Brett, Aaron and Mary. Millie and Liam voted for Teddy and Faye, Priya and Brett. Chloe and Toby voted for Priya and Brett, Jake and Liberty. Mary and Aaron voted for Priya and Brett, Jake and Liberty. Kaz and Tyler voted for Teddy and Faye, Aaron and Mary. And Priya and Brett voted for Jake and Liberty, Aaron and Mary.
So it was Millie and Liberty were the only two people that voted for. There must have been one more couple, no?
For who? Teddy and Faye? Kaz and Tyler.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why I was saying when they voted, I basically was like, because of the way that they were all situated around the thing, I think they did it so that not too many people would be in earshot of their discussion. So I said, I bet you because of where Kaz was, that she didn't hear Priya saying that she was having a bad date with Brett. And I think if she had heard, or her and Tyler had heard, they would have voted for them instead of Teddy and Faye.
I can't. So they voted for Teddy and Faye and Mary and
Mary and Aaron. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's. I feel like Priya and Brett were like a no-brainer, regardless of whether or not.
No, because they were because they were having a good connection right up until that date. Remember, that morning she had said that how they had started making out under the bed sheets.
I think though that it would have been, I don't know. I could see though why Faye might have felt a little bit slighted, because like, yes, they may have started off really well, but like Faye and Teddy coming back together and being able to work through that. And I understand Faye's point being like, why is everybody cheering for us when we kiss and we get back together if you don't think that we're compatible with each other? So
because because there's a lot of people who we sit there and watch our friends get back together with people that they shouldn't do and cheer them on, and behind we're like, why are they because we know that we cannot stop it. We can't stop it.
I think because Faye wants them to have been honest with her, right?
Yeah.
That, like, maybe like, not to get back together with him.
Right. So what I said is, I think if Tyler and Kaz had more information, I think they would have voted a different way. But Millie and Liam are just like, they knew what was going on and still voted for them because they don't think they're compatible. And Millie and Liam are like, she said it. So what are we supposed to do if she's the one that keeps saying it?
I think it's the how. I don't know if Millie's ready for that smoke.
but that's what I want to see. What happens, because it doesn't look like they're going to give Millie and Liam smoke. They're giving Kaz and Tyler smoke.
Right. Okay. So Carissa's spoken about liking Kaz's shady comments and colorism.
Yeah, I saw that on Mira, that she was saying it wasn't her, it was whoever was running her account, because it was the anniversary of her father's death, so they were still running the account. And I'm like, yeah, well, you need to watch the people that are running your account. So
they represent you, man. Like, I do not think that anybody that would be like handling my account would be, you know, anything racist. I don't think they'd be liking anything racist. I don't think they'd be liking any colorist comments. I think they'd be very objective with what happened, even more so than Clarice would be, right? Because they weren't in the villa. So I feel like they would be like, oh, like, we can see what's happening here more clearly from the outside perspective. So that's even worse, I think.
That's what I said.
What kind of friends do you keep? Ms. Love says, I feel like they really do not want a black woman or a black couple as the face of the show. No, of course not.
Definitely not.
The editing is done in a way that creates this narrative and keeps black women from doing well in this show. Absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely not. See how people reacted to the Sainsbury advert a while back. Netha, tell us the tea in London about Sainsbury.
I've never heard.
Sainsbury, I don't know. They used to
That's
be
a store, right?
I thought it was like I don't know if it's what's in England, but I thought it was like a TV dinner type thing in North America. But I don't know what it is in England or in the UK. Please go on, Netha. People still go on about the Matt situation even after he said that they are good friends and he can see Tyler and Kaz have connection is real. Well, people would love to hang on to the hate. People are okay with Millie and Liam and Chloe and Toby when their situations were worse. Absolutely. Toby was disgusting to Chloe. Disgusting.
He was.
Pass because he's mixed.
And the only reason why I didn't care was because of how she was to Kaz. What she did to Kaz was absolutely rude. So when she got it back, I absolutely didn't care. But they are a cute couple. I think he definitely has learned.
He's become like the villa's, like everybody talks to Toby. I'm like, what happened here? How are you giving advice? You know, this is your first relationship. I guess you've had 3 now or 4. So
right. And meanwhile, it doesn't seem like Jake and Liberty are having a big deal with everybody voting for them. So I don't understand why Faye and Teddy are.
They know that people are going to be voting for them because it's been very clear that they've been rocky, and also from what the audience has been saying, they've been rocky.
So how is it not clear that Faye and Teddy been rocky? They just got back together.
I get you, but I understand why she's upset because they seem to really want them to get back together, and they're kind of saying like, you guys are meant to be together, and you guys are great together. And so if they don't think that they're compatible, she doesn't understand why they're supporting their relationship. That's what I think. Anyways. I hope After the Sun was negative toward. I heard After the Sun was negative towards Kaz and Tyler too.
Yeah, I didn't watch that episode, but I heard Laura Whitmore was making fun of the way that Tyler asked Kaz to be exclusive. I heard that they were all saying it was fake, and even she was trying to get Matt to say bad things about them. And there's this one black guy that he does those radio interviews. I think he was on the show. He was saying nasty things about them. And then there was another girl on there. She's white, but I forget her name. Anyway, she was on there, and she was in the same, like literally the same breath. She said that Tyler is fake and he's not into Kaz. And then she's like, oh, I really love Liam. He really changed so much. He's put in so much work. Blah blah. And so they said that that's not what she was saying on her radio program. So they feel like that is what the producers are making them say because they don't want Tyler and Kaz to win.
This is so gross. I'm so angry. Like, they haven't done anything about other than just getting to know each other and living through the experience of the villa. They haven't done anything. Yes, I was irritated with Tyler with how he went about, Casa Amor. But like, can we blame that on Jake for like urging him to be like, just go for it? Like, if I was single, I'd do everything, blah, blah, blah. Like, he handled it poorly, fine. But he's trying to make up for it now. And why are we not allowing him to do that? You don't like the way that he did the romantic gesture, like for Kaz, but like you like the way Liam like literally would have fucked the other girl. Like he would have. Like if there were no cameras, he would have. Anyways, it's just gross. So Liberty and Faye, or sorry, Jake and Liberty talk about them being the easy target, and so they pretty much understand that most likely they're going to be, getting some votes from people. Priya tells Liberty and Kaz that Brett is boring, and he's sucking the fun out of her. Like that's never good. She mentions the fact that he chose Brie as like the cheese, and she was like, oh, I just wish that like you were like more, exciting about your cheese choices, like the stinkier the better. And I thought it was really funny that like he didn't pick the right cheese for her to be interested in him. But I get where she's coming from. Like she is more so, it's like a metaphor for the fact that he's boring. Like, he's not adventurous. He's not trying something new. His chat isn't very adventurous. Like, he is boring. I find him boring.
Is he boring or is she boring?
I mean, they don't bring out any excitement in each other.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it was a one-side boring thing. I really don't. She said that her thing for a date would be to go on a run. Where did you think it was going to go from there? Like, the funny thing is, he thought everything was good, and then like he was telling, what was it, Faye and Teddy, about how well everything was going, and he's like, oh, because we come from very similar backgrounds, and so it means we're more compatible. And I'm like, meanwhile, she has not told this guy that she's just like not into him. Like, she, at this point, to me, she was not into him at all. But she was trying to make it seem like if they tried, she could all of a sudden become more into him. But I don't think it ever was the case.
I think she was hoping that she would have been more into him than she actually was.
Yeah.
But she says here that she got the ick. And if you get the ick, you can't really come back from the ick. Like, I have the ick for Charlie, right? I can't come back from that. I got the ick.
Can anybody blame you there? No.
I mean, where's
he or she doesn't watch
I know.
Hopefully.
Okay, hi Tasha. So, and Liam wrote on tissue paper, and that's lovely. LOL. Also, Kaz loves rom-com, so we understand she loves the actual Love Actually reference. Yes,
right. But see, the Liam wrote on tissue paper was word fed to him from Jake. So there's A, and B. We know that Kaz loves rom-coms, and that was a Love Actually reference. But they put that part on an unseen bit that most of the country, as far as I was told, don't even watch. So it's like, it's not fair. Like, they keep throwing these things that are in reference to their relationship on the unseen bit.
Honey says Priya is boring and worst of all, rude.
I agree.
I think she doesn't realize how she comes across.
I agree. I think she's boring. I did not see exactly.
How does one go from Boris Johnson to Brett? Quite quickly.
She's like that. She thinks that Boris Johnson was cute.
I think it's his power, like his status, is what she's probably attracted to, which I understand. I've definitely been attracted to less aesthetically attractive men because of their position, power, money. For instance, I work at an airline, and some of these pilots are hideous, and they get all the pussy, like
I know.
all of it. Like, people fighting over it. Like, wait till you read my pilot script. Like, these situations actually happen. And this, what I don't know if I can say it online. I might get flagged. But they're fighting over, these two women are fighting over this captain who's hideous. And the one Montrealer flight attendant lifts up her dress because they're having a brawl in the lobby in Mexico. Pulls up her dress and was like, "This is the pussy he wants. This is the pussy he likes." And like, this is in uniform, fighting over a hideous captain in the lobby of a hotel, a resort. So they get all the play. So I can understand that a little bit as to why she might be interested in him, but like not for his political standing, obviously, but she is into that.
She said she admires Preeti Patel too, so.
You know, it's just, it's very shocking. Murad has a lot to say about that. He's not a fan of her political position at all, and he's not afraid to say it.
Yeah, I just think that she's not as exciting as she's trying to portray herself either. No matter how boring he is.
I think she's mistaking for entertaining and fun and interesting.
Exactly.
So Brett is talking to Faye and Teddy, and he thinks that his date was lovely. So there's a little bit of a misconnection here for the fact that like she's bored and has the ick, and he thinks the date was lovely. Eek. So Liberty, Millie, and Faye are talking, and Faye is definitely mentioning that she would be upset. Especially we've already talked about it, but why are you cheering if you don't think that we're compatible, et cetera, et cetera. So we know that Liberty and Millie both had voted for her at this point, but they're not allowed to say anything. So awkward moment, but interesting for television's sake. So Millie talking to, I believe it was Liam, and he's saying that Faye is a hothead and that she can't say anything to her. Of course, we know this. And Liberty is saying to Jake that they weren't voting on friendship and who that they liked more. They're voting on compatibility.
Right.
So Priya grabs break for a little bit of a chat. And they kind of talk about like how they're interacting, and she's kind of saying like, you hold back, and like she feels like she's not really able to connect with them. And he says he does hold back from being flirty with her, and he wants to say some things, and she just feels like she doesn't need a babysitter. She wants a man that's like willing to make the effort to flirt and stuff like that.
Right. But that's why I was kind of saying I'm not. To me, when they were together, I wasn't getting flirty vibes from her. So I don't know if he was getting it to feel like, because remember, even when she was with Matthew, they were doing the challenge, and she was like, "Oh, he couldn't kiss her," like, and I'm just like, I felt like she was flirting more with Matthew than she's been with Brett. So it's like, if you're not putting that out, like, I don't understand why you expect him to be overtly sexual with you.
Mm-hmm. Fair. So in the morning, Tyler brings Kaz a tea with lime instead of lemon. I was like, it won't be the same, but thanks for trying, Teddy. Faye does ask Priya as to why she thought that they weren't compatible. So this was interesting because Priya, in the end, she does tell Faye. So spoiler alert, guys. Priya is and Brett are the couple that is done from the island. They had the lowest votes from the audience, and so we know that in the end that she goes and she tells Faye, "It wasn't me. I do think that you and Teddy are compatible. I voted for, I guess it was whoever she voted for. I can't remember." So Faye kind of calls out Priya, and Priya just defends herself and says, "And so why do you think she took?"
No, that was because of the conversation that she had with Brett, where he was saying that he feels that Priya and him were more compatible than most of the couples in here because they were from the same area, had the same views, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, that's not, like, of course, I would never met any of the people who are in here, Faye. She's saying this. She's like, because I live here and they live there. And we don't run in the same circle. So of course we're not, going to be compatible because we're not going to meet, but we're here. And so Priya explained it in a way that she was like, he was trying to say that this, and this. And she was like, oh, see, you explained it better. She's like, that's not the way you explained it, but the way you said it was good.
And the way you said it reminded me of like what actually happened. But Priya, when she's talking about her and Brett in the bed, they didn't even cuddle. Well, she didn't want to cuddle with him. So she's not into him. I think that the idea that she got to choose between two guys got to her head a little bit. And like, this guy's like, he's into similar things as she is, and he's a model, and his twin brother, I don't know, he hasn't said that to his twin brother, but somebody in the chat told me the other day.
No.
Did you see the modeling pictures of him and his twin brother?
No.
I can see if I can find it again. I don't know if my phone's dead. Shoot, I can't show you guys. Actually, can you pull up the first look to show us on your phone?
Sure.
The boys are chatting, and Aaron has a lot of chat in him. We do see it. I don't know if it was this episode or the episode before, him and Mary talking about the fact that Priya got the ick. And so he's a little bit of a gossip. Most men aren't as gossipy as Aaron seems to be so far. So Aaron is the one that tells Brett that Priya has the ick, which I don't think was a nice way to tell him. Nobody wants to hear that.
In my opinion, men are usually gossipy. But I think it's mostly, but again, I grew up around Caribbean men, and Caribbean men are bad for gossip. But you know, I did not agree with the way that Aaron told him,
Yeah.
because it was basically like everybody here knows and you don't know. And
Well, I felt like that. I was
I
like,
was like, well, that's not true because, as I said, Tyler and Kaz did not know anything, and they didn't find out until the next morning or till after they voted. And she sat down and said it, and then they were like, "Ah, crap," and then they discussed it the next day. So it wasn't that everybody knew because she didn't tell everybody. She told certain people, and then they obviously told their boyfriends or whatever, and maybe the boyfriend told whoever or man or whatever it was. But yeah, like no, because then she did say it to everybody in the morning, right?
she talked to the girls about it.
Did,
Obviously,
did she say that she got the ick in the morning?
the ick was
Or was it just by the bonfire?
Priya tells Liberty and Kaz Brett is boring. This was, I think, after the dinner.
Okay.
After the
So
dinner, before the morning, obviously. We didn't see them, I don't think, having. Oh, they did have another conversation. So she was still trying to give him a chance when they talking about like him holding back and stuff like that. So
that's when she should have told him. That's when she should have told him.
I think she was telling him in a roundabout way.
That's what she said later. It's like, I was trying to tell you in a way. I feel like in a relationship you would tell a guy that that's how you were feeling, but I understand because you felt like it wasn't more straightforward. But I feel like he's more of a straightforward guy. He would have understood it more if she had straightforward say to him, I don't like you doing this. It makes me uncomfortable. It doesn't admire give me any adoration towards you sexually, and keep
I
it going.
I mean, I know that like, we think that anybody would like to hear that, but like that sounds terrible. If someone said to me, like, you don't do anything that makes me want you sexually, I'd be like, okay, so we're done.
But that's what I said. They were done from the night before. Like,
So Brett does confront Priya and he still wants to try, which I'm like, really? Like, I wouldn't want to try. If someone said that they got the ick or they heard that someone got the ick about me, I'd be like, I would ghost them. I'd be like, okay, we're never talking ever again. Never. Faye's talking to Tyler and Kaz about compatibility. I mean, she's just trying to figure out who is on her side, who voted for her. She's just doing a little bit of sneaky detective.
it was annoying. It was annoying. Stop going. The text said not to tell people who they voted for, and you're going around trying to figure out who voted for you or not. And I just felt like it was rude.
It was just, I mean, didn't find it annoying. I totally understood why she was doing it. Because she just wanted to feel, she wants to feel liked, she wants to feel loved. She doesn't necessarily want to own up to her mistakes. And so I still just think of her as a really hurt person that like is just always looking for ways to put a wall up. You know what I mean? And so I think that with her friends not telling her this, it's just giving her ammunition to put up a wall and being like, well, see, this is why I don't have many close friends because like they always disappoint me or they always stab me in the back or they always
Right.
so
I don't know. I don't think this was any way for her, for any of them to win the situation. When she was with Teddy and she was
no, I
telling them,
agree.
yeah, and she was telling them that how they were incompatible. They were all defending their relationship, saying, "No, you guys this, and you guys, I know that you guys like each other, and the way he looks and the way that he does this, and even remembered her and Dale when they were like, he was like, no, the guy was cool. Like all the girls are saying that he was fine when he was in Casa, and she got mad at them. I don't see there was any way for them to win.
I agree with you. I'm just saying that I think that she was always going to find a way to self-sabotage, and this is her way of sabotaging her relationships with the other women in the villa.
Yeah.
So
There's no that's why I'm saying that's why it was annoying to me. There was no growing up like I was hoping that, because as far as I was told, she was forced to apologize to Teddy. And even the episode before when when they were talking about Jake, she walked out of that conversation because she said she didn't want to kick off. So I was hoping that she would have more growth to be a little more mature about the situation, but it's not there yet.
Jessica agrees with you, says Faye needs to grow up and stop trying to find someone else to blame. Faye is annoying at this point.
That's how I felt.
Me, but I guess I'm coming from a coach / like hypnotherapist perspective that I'm like, I see what's going on here. So like it doesn't bother me as much because like I could see it's just like a hurt child that's it's reacting as in an adult body. But I totally get why you are annoyed with her, but she's not bothering me right now.
No, I need her to grow up. I do.
Definitely. I mean, she's still pretty young. When she's 26, like she's not that old.
No.
Millie and Liam talk about their votes, whatever. Priya does apologize to Brett, which you kind of already mentioned. You know, and so she's like, you know, you said the thing about Brie, and he's like, I don't even like cheese, and she's like, that's even worse. Like, I feel bad for him because like she's not into it anymore. Nothing he said is going to be good. Like, she's got the ick. Sorry, Brett, it's done.
So it's like, what if he was vegan? You're vegan, you can't eat cheese. Like, girl, like I don't understand. No. And I love cheese, and I could not understand where she was coming from because I'm like, you don't like cheese? Okay, give me your cheese.
I don't think it's about the actual eating of the cheese. I think it's the being like experimental and try things new and be like excited about something that she's excited about. And so she's like, okay, well, first I thought you picked a boring cheese, but like you'd rather have no cheese at all. Ugh, boring. Like I think it's just like adding to her boring flame or fire.
And there's so much you could do with a Brie.
I love Brie, but I stopped eating cheese like cheese all the time a while ago. I was vegan for a long time, and now I'm like vegan-ish because sometimes I'll eat fish and sometimes I'll eat cheese, but I don't eat Brie really anymore. I just like right now. I just like hard cheeses. The other ones,
Brie baked in a crust topped with like cranberry sauce or pomegranate sauce. Don't get me started. I love cheese.
Brie and pear is also delicious. Brie and apples, yes.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's how I like my Brie. And then you like just melt it, get it to a nice melty consistency. Perfect.
I lived in Montreal, so like when we always had dinner parties, and I'd have like these cheese spreads and nuts and delicious some really good crackers. There's great crackers.
Like here, you eat the crackers. I'll eat. He said he liked the crackers.
I mean, I would if like I love nut cheeses, so I would. And nowadays, bring a nut cheese like bread. But if he had said that, she would have been intrigued a little bit, right? It's like. Maybe. Not adding something interesting to the conversation is I think that's where it was happening for her. And she had the ick, so everything is going to be like, you suck. So there
another no-win situation.
Yeah, no, he wasn't going to get out of that. So they go to the fire pit. I don't remember who got the text. And the couples that are safe are going to be, well, we know the couples that are safe. So the bottom couples are Mary and Aaron, as we know, Paige and Priya and Brett. Liberty and Jake, and then Faye and Teddy. And of course, they made Millie read Faye and Teddy. They're jerks, that those producers. Like, they know that Faye is going to come for Millie, most likely, because she thinks she's weak, and she's never going to come for Liberty like that, I don't think. So, Millie's the perfect person for Faye to go and attack. Eek. So the public is going to be saving one of these four couples, and three of these four couples, and the one couple that isn't saved is going to be going home. So the lowest votes go home. Take note, Love Island USA, because like if it happened to be one of your favorites, they would have gone home, and it would have been like, oh, shocking. So. In this case, it wasn't shocking. It was Priya and Brett that got the lowest votes, and I'm happy for them to go because they didn't add anything for me to the show.
That's what I said. I said, were we supposed to like Priya? Because she did, like, they showed her a lot the last few days, and I'm like, was the point to try to get us to like her? Because I didn't see it.
I think it was just representation.
Okay, that I can see.
I don't think, and the fact that her political beliefs could have been like polarizing to a certain degree, but it didn't really play out that much in the villa, or that they showed anyways. But outside the villa, it played out a lot.
Yeah.
So
no, all the girls seemed to really like her, even when she was telling them, I think it was on the unseen bits when she was telling them that she was into Boris Johnson, and they were like, "What?" Kaz was like, "Wait, repeat." And then they just let her have her opinion and kept it moving. I think they did probably think that it was going to be a bigger thing than it was.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm happy that it didn't become a big divide, and I thought that was mature. That they all were just shocked, and then they just let it go.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely great. Hi, Cassandra. So glad to see Priya and Brett leave. They were just taking up space and storyline time. Totally agree with you. Totally agree. So I mentioned it before, but Priya does then pull Faye aside and says that they weren't the ones that voted for them, that they do think that she does think that they're compatible and that they're working towards something. And so I was happy that she said that, and that is going to be the catalyst probably for the next episode where things are going to kick off. And then I wrote something down that I don't know what I wrote. I wrote down who doesn't love A. And then I don't know what I wrote. And it looks like I could have wrote dirty doctor. I don't know. Anyways,
dirty double cross.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of how she was handling it. I maybe because I've seen the same scenario happen other seasons, and while I was okay with the reactions, like I did not agree with how Luke Trotman and Shanaz had voted. Yeah, had voted for Luke and Demi over Mike and Priscilla because I mean it was just bullshit. But I understood because I understood that's his best friend and it was loyalty. But there was no reason to vote for them over Mike and Priscilla.
I mean, it's sometimes it has to do with who you want in the villa,
right?
And
so, and I don't think even that was as big of a deal, right? And you know, for Mike, it could have been worse. He's like, I'm the one that helped get them together, right? Like he could have felt like there should have been some loyalty to it, but he was like, it is what it is. I don't agree, but it is what it is. He didn't make it a big deal. For some reason, this is going to be a big ass deal, especially on the part of Aaron and Mary. I don't understand.
Says currently watching the latest episode and it's all gone off. Okay. Yeah. And Ms. Love says, I'm sure the producers told Priya to pull Faye aside because they wanted the drama. Okay.
That's what Mirad said too.
First look.
Yeah.
But it does hacks. Do you care about your guys' opinion?
Let's put it this way, we didn't vote for you guys.
Brett and Priya didn't, so it's those three of them that voted for us.
Oh, what just happened? Watch.
Faye and Teddy, they've already worked out who has voted for them, and they're not happy at all.
Obviously, there's votes that are coming from both sides. Yeah. I'll let you guys do the talking. Why am I not compatible with
Are you asking who you voted for?
I know you both voted for us.
Okay, so it was down to 3 couples, so we had to choose 2 couples. It weren't our friendships.
I'm also baffled with you, Tyler. You helped me out, yeah? So why are you shaking your head?
No, speak. No, I'm letting him speak. I'm such
We just couldn't shake that huge argument and what was said.
You stop smirking, because you're putting me off the smirk.
What?
Stop smirking, Jake. I don't know who you think you are, because you've been talking shit the whole time, mate. She is the most genuine person I've ever come across in here, and you, on outside or in, are a different person, and you're pissing me off now. So with you, I'm done. With you, I'm not, because you are down to earth, and I love you to bits, and you deserve a hell of a lot better. You, I'm just done with.
Like, for me, I'm not so much annoyed, but it's like, I don't really understand.
I'm not gonna lie, we felt like it was a little bit more one-sided. We thought Mary was more into you than you were into her. Just a little bit.
I think it's a bullshit cop out excuse, Taz.
Don't ask me a question if you're not ready for my answer.
It is though.
I'm gonna park you there so I can finish my sentence, then you can decide what to say to me.
Go on,
Okay?
say what you have to say. Say what you have
Give
to
me a
say.
little bit of respect.
Say what you have to say. Say what you have to
There's
say.
no reason for you to get disrespectful because I'm genuinely just speaking to you.
It is what it is. So you lot do you, innit? Bro, why have you got so much to say there, but when it's down there you can't say nothing?
I spoke to you over there, Aaron. Are you alright?
Got so much to say, cuz.
If I was saying something different over here, then you could come at me like that. I stand by my opinion.
What does he have to say? What does Aaron have to say?
Aaron and Teddy are on my shit list. Stop having more smoke for black women than you do for the white women that you're with. That's just effed up.
Teddy is being annoying and so confused by everyone's votes, doesn't understand why no one told him that they felt this way before. And they are just so insecure about the relationship, they can't let it go. And they know that they're on a TV show, so the kickoff is like entertainment. It, you know, whether people like it or not, it is doing wonders for the show. So, well, thank you for joining me, Tamika. It was only an hour and a half. We're used to, going a lot longer than that. So with only one episode, we can bang it out in an hour.
Yes.
So what do you have working on that you want to share with the lovely people in the chat and that are joining us after?
Right now somebody was telling me to try to see if I could get the information for where these people are going to be this weekend. I tried to message Cinco, but it kicked back to me, so I guess he has his DMs locked down. I'll try to message Cash and see if she if she gives me the information, but she barely giving it to other islanders. I don't know if you saw Jenny's story. She's like, she's not invited. It don't look like that she wanted to invite Charlie. So anyway, I'm about
going though. Charlie's not part of the family,
right? But I don't think they had a choice for the final four, so we'll see what happens.
But Atlanta's gonna be there. Like, get out of here! Like, this is gonna be the Cash show. It's gonna be the Cash show, and in Cash's city, Cash's plan with Cash's friends, and Alana and Charlie are gonna show up and flex on Cash's game, like her party.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're not gonna feel comfortable.
Yeah, so I'm going to do my best to just get dressed and be ready for when they send out the information, and either I'll drive into the city depending on traffic or Uber into the city and see.
You're really gonna go? Wait, does the Buffalo or the other one?
No. They're coming to New York City.
Okay.
And I'm about 10-15 minutes outside of New York City, but the traffic to get into the city from where I am is the issue. So I'm just like, she said she's going to send it an hour out. So hopefully it only takes me an hour and a half to get to wherever they are so that I can, yeah.
Saturday?
I don't know because Florida says she has to leave Saturday morning. So it might be Friday night.
Okay. All right. So maybe we'll have a live correspondence with that on Friday. We'll just stream her Instagram right to Reality Realness, and we'll watch it.
I will definitely go live if I'm in the house, and I will save my lives.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tamika, for jumping in on these Love Island UK chats for the rest of the season. Jessica agrees with you. I was fixing to say the same. Aaron and Teddy are on my hit list too. Not a good look, guys. Not a good look at all. So Tamika obviously is with Entertainment in Color. So please just do us a favor and follow her there. Just she's doing something for the people, really allowing people to shine and showing where we can find other people of color, what they're doing in the entertainment world. So please support her Instagram. And if you want to support this channel, you can do that by subscribing. That's a really easy way to support the channel. If you want to like this video, that's also really amazing. And please leave a comment. Do you think that Aaron and Teddy are out of line? Let me hear your thoughts on, whether Faye's in the right or the wrong. Do you think that Kaz is being unfairly treated? Give us all the tea. Let us know how you're feeling about this episode and the episode to come. So you've been great. Love everybody here. We'll see you again tomorrow. I think, tomorrow 3 p.m. Eastern should be the time. See you soon. Oh, and Bachelor in Paradise, we're doing it at 7 p.m. tonight. So if you want to join us in the chat, we'll be talking about Bachelor in Paradise, the first episode. Tanya and I and Tamika will be there in the chat room.
I'll be in the chat.
And to talk about the season because it's just so easy going. So please join us tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. Take care, guys.